At Stade Roland Garros, the best wheelchair athletes in the world are vying for position, including 4 Israelis: Adam Berdichevsky, Guy Sasson, Sergey Lysov, and Maayan Zikri. This year's U.S. Open Tennis Championships will not include wheelchair or quad tennis for men or women, with good cause. The world's top wheelchair tennis players are now playing for their countries at the Paralympics in Paris, France. The U.S. Open and the Paralympic wheelchair competition clash every 4 years. Junior wheelchair competition, on the other hand, will go as scheduled at the U.S. Open at the Billie Jean King Tennis Center in Queens, New York. Adam Berdichevsky, Guy Sasson, Sergey Lysov, and Maayan Zikri are the 4 Israelis competing in the wheelchair tennis competition. It began on Friday and will continue until September 7th at the same Stade Roland Garros courts, which are also the French Open site. Sasson recently won the French Open Quads Championship there. The Israelis have made a fantastic start. After losing his leg in a boating accident in 2007, Berdichevsky, now 40, started playing wheelchair tennis. On Friday, he beat Italian Luca Arca 6-2, 7-5. After making her debut at Tokyo 2020, Berdichevsky won her first gold medal in the Paralympic singles competition. I can't express how much joy it was to act as this country's representative. The victory was particularly significant because it was the first time I had performed in front of an audience like this one. It seemed like I was performing at home. In between all the difficult days, I was thrilled to be able to provide some joy to others. Berdichevsky carried the Israeli delegation's flag earlier in the week. The flag bearing was amazing. To walk with the whole Israel team was amazing. And everyone saw me on TV, he said, expressing his satisfaction with his triumph. In the second round, he will face Alexander Cataldo of Chile. Lysov, Sergey. Additionally, on Friday, in his Paralympic debut, 20-year-old Sergey Lysov of Israel beat Brian Tapia of Chile 7-5, 6-1. Lysov was diagnosed with Perthes disease at the age of 9 and emigrated to Israel from Russia in 2019. Earlier this month, Lysov achieved a career-high ranking of number 17. On Sunday, he defeated the tournament's top seed, Great Britain's Alfie Hewitt, progressed to the second round. Hewitt is competing in his 3rd Paralympics, where he defeated Lysov 6-0, 6-1 with ease. Hewitt is a 9-time Grand Slam singles winner and 3-time Roland Garros singles champion. Guy Sasson, the 3rd seed and winner of the Roland Garros Quad Singles Championship, defeated Francisco Cayulev of Chile 6-2, 6-3 in his opening round match on Saturday to proceed to the quarterfinals. On Monday, he defeated Gregory Slade of Great Britain 6-1, 6-2 to reach the semifinals. It was an amazing feeling to play in such a great stadium for the first time, with so many people coming to watch us, Sasson said. I really enjoyed playing this match. 2 months ago gave me a lot of confidence. I liked this place's atmosphere and clay. I anticipated that it would be a positive step toward the Paralympics, and now it has happened. The lone female member of the Israeli squad, Maayan Zikri, won her first-round match against Morocco's Najwa Awane 6-3, 6-2. Wheelchair tennis is returning to the Summer Paralympic Games for the 9th year. In Barcelona in 1992, the sport debuted as a full medal competition. A men's and women's singles competition was staged in Seoul in 1988 as a showcase event for the sport. Quad singles and doubles competitions have been competed since Athens 2004. However, the men's and women's singles events have been played in every Paralympic wheelchair tennis event since 1992. There are 95 players competing from 28 different countries. While doubles matches are best-of-3 tiebreak sets with a match tiebreak as the final set, singles matches are best-of-3 tiebreak sets. After being played on clay in Barcelona in 1992, the Paralympic wheelchair tennis event is being held outside on clay courts for the second time. At Stade Roland Garros, the retractable roofs of courts Philippe Chatrier and Suzanne Lenglen may be closed off during severe weather. Boaz Kramer, executive director of the Israel Para Sport Facility and 2008 Beijing Paralympic silver medalist in mixed doubles quads, is happy for the 4 tennis players and boccia player Nadav Livy, who are affiliated with their Ramat Gan facility. It's a dream come true for 4 wheelchair tennis athletes from the Israel Para Sport Center to compete in the Paralympic Games. In order to realize this objective, the Israel Parasport location has spent almost 10 years developing a very distinctive and unique tennis curriculum that pays tribute to our Ramat Gan location's long history of wheelchair tennis excellence. We were all moved to witness Adam, who along with his family, survived October 7th and served as the flag bearer at the opening ceremony. As they were ready for the Paralympics to begin, 3 of the 4 Paralympic tennis players talked with the Jerusalem Post from Paris. Lysov, a Russian, was not available for comment, but is still working on his Hebrew and English language skills. Zikri, 21 of Holon, spoke candidly about how, when she was 10 years old, and on a family vacation commemorating her sister's bat mitzvah, she lost her right foot in a water ride at a Dutch theme park. After undergoing many operations and rehabilitation, she started parasports. I was introduced to basketball by 2 wheelchair basketball coaches, who also asked if I wanted to try it after talking with my mother. Though cautious, Mayan had faith in her mother. I gave it a try, and I enjoyed it, she said. Zikri was a member of a competitive boys basketball team for 5 years. She was sad when she couldn't play on a boys team because there weren't enough females to establish a girls' squad. I love the international environment, she says. The Israeli wheelchair basketball coach, who played tennis as a child, knew I enjoyed traveling and competing, so he asked if I wanted to give it a shot. Zikri went to Beit Halocham in Beersheba to give tennis a try. He became addicted. She practiced both sports for a time before giving up basketball to concentrate on tennis and prevent injuries. Right now, tennis is my passion. Although I miss basketball, I have no regrets. Since grabbing a racket for the first time at the age of 15, Zikri has risen swiftly through the tennis rankings. In 2021, she was ranked 3rd among juniors worldwide. She took home her maiden wheelchair tennis championship in 2022, winning the Hungarian Open. Zikri has since made claims to championships in Romania, Switzerland, and England. In July 2023, she won her most recent competition, placing 1st in the X-Open Baides Setúbal. Zikri feels honored to be an Israeli Paralympian, connotes enthusiasm, pleasure, pride, and delight. I am really honored to represent my own country, the United States. A brief interview was arranged with Berdichevsky before his participation in the flag-bearing event. It really is an honor for me to represent Israel, fly the flag, and stand in for my nation and people. Brings me pride and happiness. Despite what is happening, he is happy to have made it back to the Paralympics in a really packed year. Berdichevsky recounted the terrifying tale of his family's October 7th survival, which included his wife and 3 children, aged 6, 8, and 10, who spent 14 hours in a safe room during the Hamas attack, Boots near Yitzhak. After that, the family moved to Eilat for a 2-month stay. As part of his wife's medical training, fellow tennis team member Sasson, who has been residing in Houston, Texas with his family, proposed that the Jewish community think about inviting the Berdichevsky family as well. With much gratitude, Berdichevsky said that his family had been in Houston for 6 months prior to moving back to Eilat. They're thinking about what to do next, which could include going back to Houston. We are very appreciative to the Houston Jewish community for giving us a house, a vehicle, and a school for the kids. We received a warm greeting. Although Berdichevsky was pleased to be representing Israel at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, he believes that representing the nation and serving as an example for all disabled troops is now much more important than ever. In a light-hearted manner, he said that his goal for the Paralympics this year is to win the first point and go on to the next point. Speaking with the Post before the start of the Paralympics, Sasson repeated his interview from Paris from the previous year's US Open. He thought about how it was familiar to be back on Roland Garros' clay courts since he had just participated there. Though he said, "The last time I competed in the other division, known as wheelchairs, competing in the Paralympics is also familiar to him. I'm now in the quads for players who have suffered a more significant loss of function. There have been many expectations, and it motivates me to do well here." According to Sasson, "I feel confident and ready. I'm hoping to execute the performance I desire." Like his comrades, Sasson believes that playing for Israel at this time, especially in these times, the whole squad is thrilled to represent Israel. it goes much beyond just tennis. The fact that you represent Israel holds great significance. You can see that all of the athletes who want to succeed and please others value this much. The chairman of the Israeli delegation and former Paralympian swimmer Roni Bolotin reports that 27 competitors are participating in 10 disciplines, one of which is goalball, team sport. Bolotin states that he was severely injured in a minefield explosion in the Sinai in 1968 while serving in the IDF, and that this event left him crippled and amputee. This was almost 50 years ago. Even though he is competing in his 12th Paralympic Games, he said, "It is still the same excitement." Bolotin elucidated the importance of this year. This year is really exceptional, and everyone recognizes the athlete's unique role and duty in these historic times for Israel. We know we must give it our all, and that recently handicapped athletes from Gaza and the North honor our athlete. Sports can be the best tool for recovering and leading a fulfilling life. Our order to demonstrate that sports are the best option in this circumstance, our personnel are already present in the rehab facility. Bolotin is pleased with the Israeli tennis squad that is competing in Paris. They are a blend of 2 fresh, youthful athletes and 2 seasoned veterans. They have a future ahead of them. They make a fantastic team. The US Open will pay certain wheelchair tennis competitors who are competing in the Paralympics, even if they are not physically there. According to the USTA, United States Tennis Association, it provided players who would have entered the US Open via direct acceptance with a player grant to ensure that these players are receiving the equivalent of prize money as compensation. They specify that a grand total of $6,244,000 has been reserved for player per diems, accommodation expenses, and wheelchair tennis subsidy. $75,000 is the total prize money for the US Open's main draw qualifying round.